Hello, and welcome to the Bluegrass Sports Show, or
We are the BS Show. We are two fat guys that talk crap. We are the Princes of Pudgy.
okay. I'm Carl,
And I'm Barry.
and just so you know, he comes up with a new one of these for every video, and I have no clue what they are before we shoot.
I may have used Pudgy before. I can't
So
remember.
I don't think so. Pudgy, Princes of Pudgy. All right.
Princes, not princess.
I know
Princes, plural. Plural.
So today we are coming at you with our picks for the top 5 quarterbacks
You seem very sleepy today.
of all time. I'm tired.
Tired?
I'm not. Nah, I'm all right. Anyway,
Sissy.
So
Young whippersnappers.
we're coming at you with our top 5 picks for quarterbacks of all time. So, do you want to go ahead and start?
Sure. I mean, if you would like for me to take number 5, I could take number 5.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, once again, going previous, just full disclosure. To give you the most elaborate explanation as to why we are having each pick at each particular spot, we do have cheat sheets. We do have notes that we're going to be going off of.
I don't have any notes.
Well, I don't care what you have. I'm trying to explain to you why I have made educated estimations and educated selections for each pick because I want you, the love of my life, to know that I'm here to give you the very best evaluation possible.
You ready?
I wish you would wake up. Okay, now number 5, this is where I have John Elway.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you don't like that pick.
I don't have him in my top 5.
Well, I don't care what you have in your top 5.
But I like it.
John Elway, in his career, he passed for 51,000 yards.
Right.
The reason why I have John Elway in my top 5 is because not only did he pass for 51,000, he rushed for 3,400 yards. And these are just estimate, just rough round-offs. Maybe a little bit more, maybe just a little bit less, but close to it in that regard. He threw 300 touchdowns. He had 33 rushing touchdowns. And John Elway, you look at him, he played in an era where quarterbacks didn't move.
Right.
Steve Young was really it.
Mm.
John Elway was a different type of beast. And whenever you think of John Elway tucking the ball and going, you see his image of him going and leaping for the pylon and getting knocked whirlwind around. He did that as an old man. John Elway was fantastic. Now, he's a jerk. He could have played professional baseball. He was that great of an athlete. He had an opportunity to sign with the Yankees and play pro baseball as opposed to playing pro football. 2 Super Bowl victories, won a Super Bowl in 1998 and 99, I believe was the 2 years that he won the Super Bowl. Dale Earnhardt said before he won the Daytona 500 in 1998, if John Elway can win a Super Bowl, I can win the Daytona 500. Earnhardt won the 500.
So, I mean, I like Elway. And the thing that I want you to realize is...
You're asleep?
No. My picks are more along the lines of... Well, there's one on here that I'm just giving credit to that I hate. But there's other ones that I'm just watching how they throw.
Do you have Tony Romo in your top 5?
Fuck no. But anyway.
Language.
Sorry. That was awful. Tony Romo will not be in there.
It's a family show.
But some great quarterbacks I have left off that I really wanted to put in there. He's one of them.
Okay.
But my number 5 is Aaron Rodgers. And stats-wise, he's getting beat.
No, I disagree.
I think
as far as individual accommodations and accolations, his stats will, at this point, rather trump or will trump almost any quarterback in history. The reason why I wouldn't have Aaron Rodgers is because it's just stats. It's personal stats.
Right.
If you want to have the most accurate throwing quarterback of all time, you take Aaron Rodgers. If you want to win a Super Bowl every year and actually do something in the playoffs as opposed to breezing through your division in the regular season and then getting to the playoffs with home field and
I'm
not taking Aaron Rodgers.
You place a lot of value on the choke in the championships. I don't. That's a team thing to me.
Okay.
So that's why the one that I said I'm giving credit to wouldn't be on my list.
Can you name me more than 5, going back to 1990, can you name me more than 5 teams that won a Super Bowl who did not have an elite quarterback? I know you would have to look at it.
Yeah, I would have to look that up.
It's hard.
I would have to look that up.
An elite quarterback means so much in the NFL, especially
the Bears won it, didn't they?
No.
They didn't win?
They lost Peyton.
Oh, okay. Anyway, they were a great team, and they had Rex Grossman at quarterback.
But they lost to Peyton
I
Manning.
know, but I'm just saying. But I do place Aaron Rodgers in there, and this literally Aaron Rodgers only gets in on my list because I've watched him play, and I see how good he is.
He's really good.
Whether he crumbles or not, I'm not placing a lot of value on that. Another guy that's pretty high on my list. A lot of people are going to say crumbles, chokes, and playoffs. Okay, whatever.
Do you have Dan Marino in your top 5?
I do.
What
And another one, too, because that's not even who I was talking about. But, yes, Dan Marino's in there.
Okay.
And he's very high on my list because I'm going off watching them play. I look at succeeding when the lights are brightest. I look at that as a performance, not judging you as a player. I'm judging you as a performer at that point. There are better performers, no doubt. But I don't know that there's a better player.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't have Rodgers in my top 10, but
Right.
I wouldn't have him in my top 5 at
Yeah.
this point in his career.
That was the questionable thing. And I wanted to put him in there, and I didn't want to, but I went with it.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a guy in West Virginia right now. His name's Adam Smith. He loves you for taking him, and he's wanting to stab me with a dull fork.
So we're on my number 4.
I love
right?
you, Adam. Mr. Chang.
And here's
Mr. Chang, get you for you.
here comes some hate. Number 4 is Tom Brady.
Well, I mean,
And that's because my argument for the viewers, if you don't hate that pick, is in 2008, he goes down with a preseason injury. Matt Castle comes in to replace him. Puts up Tom Brady-like numbers. They go 11-5
and missed playoffs.
and barely missed the playoffs to the Dolphins, who also went 11-5. But they went 11-5. There's multiple years Patriots did that or less and made the playoffs.
But you put Tom Brady on that team, and they probably go 13-3 or 14-2.
But he put up Tom Brady-like numbers.
Not Tom Brady-like numbers.
He did.
No.
He had 40-some touchdowns, which is Tom Brady-like numbers.
Really?
Yes.
I would like for you to show me a stat that said he threw for 40-some touchdowns.
I believe it's 42 or something.
You show me that stat, and I'll believe it.
Well, I'll have to look it up. But I'll show you as soon as the video's over. And he had real low touchdowns. But it's Bill Belichick has a lot to do with Tom Brady's success. Whole lot to do with it. So when I don't like it when people place him, especially as the greatest of all time. Not by a long shot. But he's a good quarterback, but he's not one of the best of all time. I'm only giving it to him for the 5 Super Bowls, but those are Bill Belichick's.
Okay.
And it is. That's the way I look at him.
Okay.
That's why he's at number 4 on my list.
Okay.
But a lot of people hate that pick.
Now, my number 4 is Johnny Unitas.
Ooh,
Johnny
U.
Unitas.
I like
Johnny
him too.
Unitas was an elite passing threat quarterback in an era to where we're talking late 50s, 60s, early 70s.
Right.
It's just you don't have the level of numbers that he had then, you didn't have then. You didn't
Right.
have until the late 80s, early 90s at the most. 40,000 yards, which is half of what Peyton Manning has. But still, we're talking about
A different
50,
era.
60
Yeah.
years ago. You're talking about somebody who was a 4-time MVP. He won 3 NFL rings before the merger.
Right.
And then 1 Super Bowl. So a 4-time champion, 290 touchdowns. To me, Johnny Unitas is the mold.
Johnny's tough, man.
He's the mold of the passing style quarterback, of the quarterback usage, or the quarterback, what's the word I'm looking for? The quarterback archetype that we know and
Right.
what we have grown up with. Johnny Unitas set that.
Right. No, he's tough. I like Johnny U.
Now, number 3, I just mentioned him, Peyton Manning. This is
I
where
got him at number 3 too.
I've got Peyton here.
Yep.
Almost 72,000 yards in his career. Like I said, almost double what Unitas had. Peyton played in an era where the quarterback was the most important,
Right.
of course, in his situation as far as being able to pass, not just game manage, but throwing. And the weapons that Peyton had, unbelievable. Which is a record, 72,000 yards, approximately, just a little bit less than that. It's a record. 200 combined wins between regular season and playoff. He also has the most losses in playoff history. The bulk of his victories were regular season as opposed to playoff. Of course, whenever you play as long as Peyton did, even if you win 1 playoff game a year, you still pile a ton of playoff wins.
Right.
In that regard, as long as you're making the playoffs. Also, give me Peyton here with 2 rings, a 5-time MVP, and 539 career touchdowns, which is an NFL record.
He's a beast. Peyton's a beast.
Greatest regular season quarterback in history.
when we're talking about Peyton versus Tom Brady, when you take out Peyton got injured, the year they drafted Andrew Luck, right? He goes down. They go 3-13. Tom Brady goes down. His backup comes in. They go 11-5.
I still don't. Even if Peyton was healthy that year, I still don't think that team makes the playoffs.
I do. Because Peyton is the smartest quarterback.
All they had was an old
center.
Reggie Wayne. They had an old Dallas Clark. I think Dallas Clark was still on the team at that
But Peyton's going to take them there.
That team had no defense, had no running game whatsoever.
I don't care. That team was going to
Peyton maybe sneaks in as a wild card.
But it's a significant difference.
But
That's what I'm talking
about. You're comparing a New England Patriots team that was coming off of a Super Bowl run, elite playoff runs, and losing their quarterback and still just barely missing the playoffs, versus a Colts team that still hasn't recovered, that is still that bad. The level of talent that was on that Colts team compared to what was on the Patriots whenever Brady went down,
right.
It's night and day difference. I get your argument for
right.
Brady versus Manning there, but you're placing so much more weight on impact as far as what Peyton's absence did versus Brady's, and you're not putting near enough weight on rosters. That Colt team was.
But if that's if you're going by rosters, then why does Tom Brady get the bid for winning all the Super Bowls? His team did it, not him. And that's what I'm saying.
How many times did he go through Peyton to get to the Super Bowl?
But he had a better roster. So the team did it, not him.
Peyton had a good enough team to get to where he played Brady.
But he would have. He would have took the team that went 3-13 to the playoffs.
Maybe.
He would have.
Maybe. It's all speculation. It's a fat team.
But I'm just saying, you can't say when you look at it this way, it's because the team's better. When you look at it this way, it's because Tom Brady's better. No, you can't. The team was better, not Tom Brady.
Well,
Brady just
Castle took over a team that was already more established to continue with success.
And you want to talk about his stats, right? His stats were so good that he got a big contract as the starting quarterback and went out and sucked.
Yeah, I agree. I completely understand that aspect. But you're looking at two teams. One was a championship caliber team with Brady. Without him, they're not in the playoffs. You're looking at a Colt team.
Barely not out of the playoffs.
Barely
out of the playoffs.
It doesn't matter. They're still not in the playoffs. It doesn't matter.
But their record was good enough to be in the playoffs. That's the sad part.
And then you look at the Colts with Peyton. They got the number one pick without number one pick in the draft. And a lot of that, they could have been better with the quarterback they had. I don't even know who played that year whenever Peyton was hurt.
I don't remember his name.
They decided that they were done with Peyton because
right.
all doctors, all plans going forward said Peyton is never going to be Peyton Manning ever again. Do you not remember the moniker "suck for luck"? They tanked. That team wasn't as bad.
I don't remember
that team wasn't as bad as 3-13 said, but that also was not a contender team with Peyton.
Right.
That team maybe gets in as a wild card. That's why at this point Andrew Luck was supposed to be the next great quarterback. But what's he done in Indianapolis? Cry because he got beat because a football was flat? Let me tell you something about Deflategate. They lost by 40 that game. I don't care how much error was in the football. The Patriots were going to kill you anyways. It's an excuse. It's a witch hunt. If they're the biggest, I don't care about Spygate. I don't care about Deflategate. If they've been busted for 2 massive scandals in a decade, why do they still win now?
Because it ain't going to make them stop. They keep getting busted and nothing happens.
Because Tom Brady. Go ahead. You're 3.
Oh, my God. Anyway. My number 3 is Peyton. I said it already.
Okay. Well, talk about Peyton if you want to.
No, we already talked enough about Peyton. My number 2 is Dan Marino. Yeah. My number 2 is Dan Marino. And I don't care about, like I said before, I don't care about choking and all that BS. When you watch him play the position and throw some of the passes, he is literally one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. What's your knocks against him besides choking?
Laces out.
All right.
I'm not putting a quarterback that never won a Super Bowl on my list.
Well, that's fine.
I mean, he can have all the individual. It's like Aaron Rodgers. At least Rodgers has one Super Bowl.
So Sanders, when running back, Sanders not one of the greatest?
We've discussed this. The quarterback position, like in basketball, a true elite superstar legend of all time in basketball, you have to measure by how they led their team with success to championships. That's why you talk about.
I don't measure them that way.
Well, and that's where you're wrong. That's why you talk about. That's the whole reason why Bill Russell is what he is. That's why you talk about Jordan the way you do, because Jordan was the greatest player of all time, and for a decade nobody could beat him for a ring.
Well,
that's why you talk about LeBron the way he is today, because LeBron every single year has his team in the finals playing for a championship. That's the reason why Kobe's where he's at. Shaq's where he's at. You never hear guys like David Robinson or Hakeem Olajuwon put in the same breath as those guys.
Why not? They won championships.
Yeah, they won Olajuwon won 2.
Right.
These guys won 5 and 6 and 7 or 11.
But I don't. That's why I don't
Magic Johnson.
I don't place value on championships. That is a team thing, not a personal thing.
But back to what I'm saying.
Basketball's one thing. Football, one player's not making that big a difference.
Back to what I told you. Go back to 1990 and give me 5 teams that won a Super Bowl without an elite level quarterback.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. They're playing elite level quarterback. You take 2 great teams, you give one an elite level quarterback and one a sucky quarterback. This one's going to win.
Who's Brady ever had in the backfield with him?
Except for Edgerrin James.
Brady didn't have Edgerrin James.
Had.
Well, Peyton had Edgerrin James, but
at one point,
the same concept. You're talking about an elite level quarterback, with you had with Peyton Manning at number 3, who won 2 championships, but he never had a great running back.
I'm not placing championships on there.
Let me ask you
this.
In
my opinion, championships is a team thing.
Does the Cowboys?
And I'm never going to consider it.
Does the Cowboys win any Super Bowls in the 90s without Troy Aikman?
Possibly.
No, they don't.
Possibly.
Does the Packers win in 97 without Brett Favre?
Probably not.
Exactly.
Not them.
Has the Patriots won any titles in the last 17 years without Tom Brady?
Yes.
You know Brady was Finals MVP in 4 of those.
I don't give a shit.
I don't care.
Crap, sorry.
I don't care. You could say whatever you want to about a kicker making a field goal. That's what kickers are there to be.
Yes,
for.
No, I'm not
but
saying that.
But guess what? He was in a position to make that field goal because Tom Brady put him there.
You take out Tom Brady, put in Dan Marino.
Well, you've said right there, Dan Marino's a top 5 quarterback of all time.
I know, yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
That doesn't.
Then he wins Super Bowls.
Yeah, but listen to me. You're saying the quarterback isn't as much a big a position as what a basketball player is.
It's not.
You're wrong.
I don't.
You're absolutely wrong. I don't care to tell you. You're wrong.
No, it's my opinion. So
and your opinion.
Wrong.
And your opinion's wrong.
It's not possible to be wrong on an opinion.
Just like having Dan Marino at number 2 is wrong, because that's where you have Joe Montana.
Joe Montana's number 1.
Joe Montana's not number 1.
He is number 1.
Joe Montana, 40,000 yards. He had the same amount of throwing yards as what Johnny Unitas had in 20 years before him. Okay. Joe Montana, 273 rings. Guess what? Johnny Unitas had 273 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Johnny Unitas had 290, 20 years before him.
Okay.
Joe Montana, 11 touchdowns and 0 picks in Super Bowls. That's where an elite quarterback wins. Joe Montana,
that's where an elite
4
performer
rings.
wins.
4 rings.
We're still on the same argument. I'm not going to transfer to your thoughts over your team winning the Super Bowl.
The only people who do not place Tom Brady as the greatest of all time are the people who just merely hate the Patriots.
Well, I do hate Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Not the Patriots, but I hate Tom Brady. But that's the whole reason, because I consider him greatly overvalued.
Well, let me explain to you why I have Tom Brady number 1. You look at Tom Brady as Satan. He has the devil's horns coming up through his hairline.
No, I look at him as
his magnificent hairline. You want to know what? Those horns aren't devil horns. They're goat horns, because he's the goat.
I wish we'd have had... There was somebody supposed to do this video with us, and I wish he'd have been here. Because me and him would have agreed against you that
I
Tom
don't-
Brady's not the number one.
And there's other people out there.
I know, but
to
I'm just
agree.
saying. Then I would
don't
have
care.
some help.
You're not alone in being ignorant. There's other ignorant people out there. Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowl appearances. He's not just won 5 rings. He's went to the Super Bowl 7 times.
I don't care. You mean the Bill Belichick and the Patriots with Tom Brady as
You
quarterback?
go ahead and
went-
take all the credit that you want to and give it to Belichick because that's what Brady haters do. It doesn't matter. Tom Brady,
haters. dude.
Tom Brady, 62,000 yards. That's second all time, Chief. Second all time.
I know what it is.
Guess what? 5 rings, 4-time Super Bowl MVP. He's a 2-time regular season MVP, and he's threw for 456 touchdowns. I don't give 2 craps what you think
In
about
Bill
Tom Brady.
Belichick's system.
Who cares? Peyton Manning had elite success in Tony Dungy's system forever. Every quarterback plays in a system because Tom Brady played for one system his entire career. That means it's only the system.
Yeah, when they run 5 wide receivers almost all the time, you're going to have a ton of passing yards. If you're a decently accurate quarterback, you're going to be able to find people and have elite passing yards and touchdowns.
And then you'll also win 5 Super Bowls, which is almost a third of the championship that's been won in his career.
Right.
He's 40 years older, knocking on the door, and he threw for over 450 yards 2 days ago.
I mean, his longevity, that's on him. That's a kudos to him. Longevity. But the system enables him to be a better quarterback.
Okay, was Joe Montana a great quarterback because of his system?
No.
He was in the same system.
Yeah, but I've watched them play. That's what I'm saying. I'm going by me watching them
Joe
play.
Montana retired and Steve Young took over, and they won championships with the next quarterback. Are you holding that against Joe Montana?
Yeah, Steve Young, who's another Hall of Fame
Are you
quarterback.
holding that against Joe Montana?
No, I'm not.
It's double standard.
You wanna know-
Go ahead. I'm done.
I'm not. You're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm watching them play. That's how I'm judging who's better.
And
I don't give a shit what the numbers say.
And I've watched Tom Brady play for almost 20 years, and anytime Tom Brady has a football in his hand, I believe he's going downfield and scoring.
Well, that's wonderful. But I've watched them throw,
History tells you.
and I don't think he's as good. He's just not as good. The system works better for him, and it allows him to have better stats. But as far as literally throwing the ball, and I've watched every one of these, he is not as good as those.
Okay, go back and watch him and Randy Moss just straight an entire league apart. Because he couldn't throw. The system
I
just
didn't
allows
say he
him to
couldn't
chunk and
throw.
dunk here and there.
Time out. See, you're jumping here. I never said he couldn't throw. I said he's not as good as the other guys on my top 5.
Well,
Not as good.
not as good has more rings than anybody on your
And that's
team.
wonderful.
Not as good probably has, you have,
Was Michael Jordan my number 1?
and
Was he?
and that's been laughed at across everybody that's watched this video.
I don't care what they say.
Go ahead and talk about Joe Montana.
I don't have to. You already talked everything about Joe Montana.
I mean,
But
That's
I'm
your
going
number
by watching them play.
okay.
And watching them play, Joe Montana was best. He was maybe the best. But all of these guys are interchangeable in my book, except Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Both of those are at the bottom of the list.
The issue with,
My top 3, I would take over the other 2. I don't give a crap how many championships they've got.
yeah, you need to watch on.
I know, but you're getting me worked up.
The issue with criticizing Brady is that nobody can criticize Brady and be unbiased by doing it.
Well, you're
You
always biased when you criticize somebody.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah,
I
we
criticized
are.
Aaron Rodgers a few minutes ago, and I specifically said individual skills apart, he probably belongs in the top 5. But my pedigree for what a quarterback
Right.
should be, he's not.
And that's where we differ. See, that's what you're trying to go factual basis. No, what we're different on is the value of championships, the value of playoff pedigree.
Why else do you play?
That may be why you play, but it doesn't determine you as a player. Not in my eyes.
Why else do you play?
What's that
The
matter?
elite.
Why do we do these videos?
The elite of the
but we're not
elite.
considered some of the greatest.
The elite of the elite are there to win championships. And if that's not what you're basing the great, I understand talking running backs and not considering championships.
No, but here's
because
what I look at
Adrian
it.
Peterson has had legitimate crap his entire
Yeah.
career in Minnesota. But Adrian Peterson, you can make an argument, might be the best running back of all time.
He's not to me. He's number 2.
I didn't say that he is. I'm saying you
Yeah.
can make an argument.
Yeah.
Well, Danian Tomlinson never had
He's a
any
beast.
success in San Diego as far as a
But
team.
why are you putting them there? Because you've watched them play and you see how good they are.
Because a running back does not have the same influence on a team
But
as a quarterback.
Watch them play and you see how good they are. Versus this one that's won 5 championships.
Are you saying I've not watched Tom Brady and I don't think Tom Brady's that good?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's why I'm putting Tom Brady lower. But we're not debating that. We're debating his numbers. I'm not debating his numbers. His numbers are there. That's why I gave him the nod. But I'm saying, on my list, that's why he's lower. I've watched them play. And I don't think he's as good. He may have better numbers.
You can talk me into Montana over Brady.
But not the other two.
Not Dan Marino.
Right, I get it. But I'm just saying, watching them play, I like them other guys better.
You could almost talk me into Peyton over Brady.
Peyton is way smarter than Brady.
I don't think so.
I think so. I think he's the smartest quarterback to ever play. He ain't got the arm strength that some of these guys got. I'm talking about going up there to the line, changing plays and running an offense himself.
And Brady doesn't do that?
Not as much as Peyton. Peyton to me was the smartest.
Maybe not as much as Peyton.
But I'm not saying Peyton is necessarily better than Brady. I'm just saying he's smarter in that sense. Smarter does not make you better.
Well, this has been fun.
I mean, I do have Peyton higher on my list, but that's because I don't really like Tom Brady. Like, Dan Marino's a better quarterback than me than Peyton Manning. He just didn't have as much. And Peyton Manning's smarter. I give him that. He's the smartest quarterback ever to me. But anyway, yeah. So, Perry gets worked up in these videos, boys. I'm telling you.
Go back and see me cuss any of these videos.
Well, I cuss all the time anyway. I've just watched my mouth for the videos. So, but anyway, thank you guys for watching. I know it's been a very highly debatable show, as with most of my lists. But if you liked it, hit that like button and that subscribe button. Anything you want to add besides just a cute face?
He's wrong.
Thank you, guys.